Hi, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity. So, they just released a bunch of official photos from Game of Thrones Season 6, and I just wanted to make a quick video about them. I didn't make a video about the banner teaser trailers, which were in fact quite interesting, but I just didn't feel I had enough to say about them for a whole video. However, some of these photos I thought were quite revealing, so I just wanted to real quickly examine them and have a look at what this means for Season 6 and the predictions I made for Season 6. So I'm going to have to give a spoiler warning for Game of Thrones up to Season 5, a spoiler warning for the Song of Ice and Fire novels on which it is based, and a spoiler warning for filming and production leaks for Season 6. If you don't want to know anything about what's been confirmed for Season 6, then this video may not be for you. So I just wanted to get real quick into these photos. However, I'm not going to overanalyze them, and I'll try not to read too much into them, but I just want to make a few comments on what some of these might mean for my predictions. Okay, so let's start. So here's the first photo with Arya on the streets of Braavos as a blind beggar, which we knew from filming leaks that this was going to be a case, plus it was pretty self-evident as well. Next is a photo of Daenerys looking all disheveled, and likely this is shortly after we saw her last as she was taken by the Dothraki. And we see Tyrion and Varys in Meereen. I hope to see a lot more of them in Meereen, at least at the start of the season. I can't wait for this. And here's a pretty straightforward photo of Tyrion. And next is Septon, Unella, and Margaery. I'm not going to speculate as to what's going on in this photo. If you want to hear my predictions for Margaery, you can check out my prediction videos for Jaime and Cersei. But most of all, this photo just gets me really hyped for seeing how Margaery is going to deal with the Faith Militant. So mainly, I just can't wait for this. And here's a photo of the High Sparrow. It's a pretty straightforward photo. And here's Cersei and Jaime both looking a bit upset. This may be shortly after Cersei learns of Myrcella's death. I predicted that these two would have a falling out this season. So if I were to guess, I would say this photo takes place during the beginning of it. Okay, so now we see Jaime on a boat with Myrcella's body. I would say this is him coming into King's Landing, returning from Dorne. This boat was the same kind of boat we saw Myrcella leave King's Landing in Season 2, so there's a bit of symmetry here. I would say these are similar boats that smaller boats that ferry people from the main boats. So that's why we don't see Bronn on this boat. But as I said in my predictions video, I don't think Trystane is coming back to King's Landing with Jaime, because if you recall, the boat Jaime and Bronn were leaving on was a Dornish ship. So in that case, I think Trystane would have just turned around and went right back to Dorne rather than going to King's Landing to face the Lannister wrath. Although I suppose it's possible he continued onward to try to be a diplomat of sorts, but I doubt it, but we'll see. So here we see Bran and the Blood Raven standing in what appears to be Winterfell. So obviously this is a flashback or a werewood vision or greenside vision, however you want to call it, because for one thing, Bran is standing. So it has to be a vision of some sort. So we knew from some of the filming leaks that Bran and the Blood Raven would be present at the Tower of Joy. So I think they'll be doing flashbacks in a stylistic way where we see Bran and the Blood Raven physically there watching the past events occur, but they'll just be spectators that no one else can see, kind of like a Christmas Carol or Scrooge, kind of thing, where we the audience can see them amongst the past events, but they'll just be looking at them. And we already know that we're going to get some characters in Winterfell as children like Ned, so I imagine this is taken from some of those. So a pretty straightforward photo of Ramsay and Roose. Holy fuck, it's Balon Greyjoy! So this is one of the most telling photos, and the bunch has this right here already disproves one of my predictions, as I predicted that Balon wouldn't actually appear in Season 6, that we would just hear about his death, but now that we got confirmation that he will be in Season 6. I do think this means we will see his death on screen. We've already got confirmation that the King's Moot is happening, and in order for that to happen, Balon has to die. So we know he will, but it looks like we're going to see a bit of him before he goes, which is interesting. So here we see Jaime and Tommen looking over Myrcella's dead body. So this photo finally, thank God, lays to rest this Myrcella truther movement, where these people, seem to insist that she is or may still be alive, which I always maintain is ridiculous, as she clearly died at the end of season 5, and now we have the picture of her body to prove it. If only they had included a photo of Stannis' dead body, but oh well, on good time. But what else is interesting here is to see Jaime back in King's garb with Tommen. I wonder if these two are going to connect, and plus it's good to see that Tommen has finally left his room. Next we see Yara Greyjoy. Not much to say about this picture. It's good to see her again, but we already knew she was going to be in season 6, and I'm not going to even attempt to try to place where in the story this photo fits. And another pretty straightforward photo of Ramsay in Winterfell. And next we see Sam and Gilly, and the more I look at this picture, the more it looks like they are indeed on a boat, which completely blows my theory that they were going to travel by land out of the water, and that they were going to be the ones to meet the gravedigger. I kept looking very closely at this photo, and I suppose it could be an inn or a shack of some kind, because you do see a few people in the background, but there seems to be a lot of rope around here, which kind of identifies it as a cabin of a boat. But the biggest indicator to me is that Sam is cradling a bucket looking sick. So that's probably a seasick bucket. So I say it looks likely that I was wrong about Sam, and he is in fact traveling by sea. But does this mean he'll stop off at Braavos? I still think not, but you never know. We'll see. And here's Davos. Obviously still at Castle Black. We see some smoke around him, so maybe this is while they are burning quote-unquote Jon Snow's body, but we'll see. And here's Brienne, and there's simply not enough of the background in this photo for me to even attempt to guess where she is, so I won't even try. And here's Melisandre, still at Castle Black. This photo doesn't really tell you much. And a photo of Missandei. And here we see Theon and Sansa. It looks like they're suggesting after their escape from Winterfell. This puts to rest, some of the other rumors or theories that Sansa and Theon didn't survive their fall, but we already knew from filming leaks that that didn't happen, plus who really thought that anyway? And here's another photo of Arya blind, and another photo of Daenerys looking disheveled. And here's one of Sansa, obviously right after her escape, as she looks very dirty and tired. And another one of Sansa looking tired. And a photo of Cersei with short hair. Here's an interesting one of Tyrion with Grey Worm and Missandei, the new rulers of Meereen, and we see Tyrion putting the wine back into the bottle. Seems like this is a symbol that he's taking things seriously now and is going to get busy and get down to business. So it's probably not long after this photo that we'll see Tyrion in full-on Season 2 Hand of the King mode, which I cannot wait for. Another one of the Dream Team, Tyrion and Varys. And finally, we end with a photo of Daenerys where it looks like she's being brought to the Khals of the Khalasar, where she will have to prove herself. So yeah, these were all interesting photos. Doesn't really give much away other than Balon's going to be alive and in season 6, and looks like Sam and Gilly might be traveling by boat after all. It's a shame they didn't include a photo of Jon Snow, but with Kit Harington's recent assurances that Jon Snow is dead, unfortunately, it looks like they're holding firm to this ridiculous charade, which is sad. So that's it for my video on Game of Thrones official photos from Season 6. Be sure to check back here tomorrow or possibly tonight, Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the US, as I will be doing a live Q&A video entirely about Game of Thrones. So if you have any questions about Game of Thrones you want me to answer, just leave a comment below with the question, but begin the comment with Q&A so I know it's meant for that video. Your question won't appear in the comment section, it will be saved for that video. Or simply join us live in the chat Friday night and ask your question there. I'll put a link for that video in the description below. Also be sure to check me out on Facebook. Give the page a like as I try to throw in a few extra goodies on the Facebook page and keep people informed of upcoming videos and any breaking Game of Thrones news. I'll put a link to that in the description below. And also check out my channel for many more Game of Thrones content as I try to do at least one Game of Thrones video a week, and make sure you subscribe so you can keep up with all that. And thanks a lot for watching.